Hi, Cindy Littlefield here from Mobile, Alabama, home of the Sacro Wedgy. And today we're going to talk to Christina Darring, and we're also going to do a demo. I'm going to work on her again. We first met probably about 8 years ago. Christina was having some real problems, and a friend of ours insisted to Miss Doris that she come over, and we started working very slowly at first, because I'm always talking about how the Sacrowedgy, you make corrections very slowly. It doesn't happen real fast, so we had to really start with some baby steps. And Christina, what was going on with you at the time?
So in high school I had gotten a herniated disc, and it took 4 epidurals to get any relief from that, which gratefully it did last a while, about a decade. But once I had my first child, after holding him for about a year, half of a year, my disc must have reherniated or started giving me major pain, to a point to where I was immobile. I remember not being able to stand in church for an hour and just do simple things that everybody was able to do in their normal daily life. So shopping and holding my baby and pretty much laying on the couch. And then I wound up having back surgery, and that was not good. My disc actually reherniated afterwards. And I was in worse shape than I was before the surgery. So this was last resort, and I wish I had come to Cindy sooner.
But it was a very slow process. So I think we even had to start you off on the male version.
Yeah, the male version without any platform
pad by itself, and it was just very, very slow rocking. I mean, we didn't really hardly do anything. The hard part in the beginning when you're hurting so badly is to be able to let go. And that took several weeks just to get to that point. And two, you have to feel secure that I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to force anything. You have to really allow the body to gently rebalance itself. So it was quite a process. And after a little while, we were able to graduate to the female version with the elevation pad. So we just slowly eased into that. And I think I remember after a couple of months, when we could finally go through the routine, we were determined that the erectus spinae was weak. Now Christina did her homework too. She used it at home. We got her a massage table so she didn't have to try to get on the floor. And she did isometrics. Once we realized that one muscle in the back was very pronounced on one side and very weak on the other. So she started doing the isometric. We have very specific isometrics for muscles. So she started working on that. And once we finally got those muscles to equal out, then we could actually go through the full routine. And, she was able to do more. Then she was out walking and shopping again. But it was a process. People are always looking for that quick fix, but there really isn't one. And I compare it to what people go through when they put braces on their teeth.
Right.
They're not straight the next day.
That's right. That's right.
So you slowly move through the end results are balance. And so what was it, about 6 months later?
Yeah, I mean, I came in really not walking and hunched over and in a lot of pain, and after about 6 months I could tell a huge difference.
And then you were pregnant.
Walking out of it and pregnant again and moving on with my life. It was a good feeling.
So now she's got 4 beautiful children.
Yeah, I've gone through 3 more pregnancies, totally fine, no sciatica nerve pain, nothing. I'll have flare-ups here and there very rarely, and I get back on the Sacrowedgy and I feel better just after a few days of doing it once a day for 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm living a lot more normal life than I had intended.
So now we will get ready and do a demonstration. So thank you. Okay, so we are now going to do a demonstration with Christina, but just briefly so that people understand the osteopath technique of holding the sacrum. the sacrum is the keystone of our anatomy. It's the center of gravity, center of everything. So the osteopath, and this started back probably in the late 50s, I guess, really, where my dad started doing this technique, working with all the athletes, but he would just hold the sacrum and let gravity kick in. He said in the beginning, it almost felt like a war zone. You can feel the muscles quivering, you can feel them resisting, and then for some reason around that 20-minute mark, all of that just kind of subsides. So that's how the process started. So he developed this to mimic the hand, so you could do these routines at home by yourself and in between. I have a lot of therapists now that will have their patients or clients call and order one to use at home in between the therapy sessions. It helps hold the work, and they don't have to start over every time they come back in. So Christina, let's get started. So let's see, you're on the female version now, of course. So let me put this down. So we're gonna lay on your side first. Yep, facing the other way. Yep. Sorry. That's okay. So just to show the placement, this is the easiest way to get started, is you just want to put it right at the sacrum. So you're going to isolate, cradle, and elevate only the sacrum. So we're going to put the elevation pad, so just hold it in place and roll to your back. Yeah, she wasn't doing any of this. I mean, none of this was happening. And just stretch out and just relax. So, like I said, whenever we first started with her, we had to use just the male version by itself. So bend your knees up, just all the way up, knees together and feet together. And this was about all we could do in the beginning. I mean, that was it. It was just barely moving, just to get her to relax through the process of letting these muscles rebalance themselves, basically. So, but now, so we're going to start out and just get some rocking going. Now this one is especially good if you have sciatica, because you've got that piriformis muscle that attaches to the sacrum and the hip, and it gets involved with the sciatic nerve. So this rocking motion will really help that muscle start to release. Okay, so we'll stretch this leg out straight and keep this one bent. So we're going to prop this leg on the pillow and just let it kind of hang out. Now normally I would be around on this side to, but I'm going to work from here so you can see. So in order to access the psoas muscle, it's a very deep muscle, starts at the 12th thoracic, inserts deep on the inside of the thigh. And if that muscle is real tight, it's all in the lower back with the multifidus erectus spinae. It's all right in that lower back area. So instead of being rotor-rooter and really going in real deep to try to access the muscle, we just go right below the ASIS, and you just do a gentle pulse. And it got a little bit of movement in the foot. That way I know we're getting a little release in that psoas muscle. Okay, so we're going to take this out now. I'm not going to do both sides, but let's see. So let's bend this knee up now. Just relax. Do a little stretch. These routines are all in the book, and then I'll have other videos too that are a little bit more complete. That's a good stretch to the side. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Kind of roll it out. And then put the foot down and just let the knee just kind of drop to the side. And this is one I like to do. I'll just lay there with the knee, just using the weight of the knee. You get a nice stretch up in the top of the thigh and just slide out. Little trigger point right below the knee. If that's hot, that's telling us that the hips are still a little bit tight. Then you always want to end, and this is the most important, with a pelvic tilt. You want to bend your knees, both knees up, and very slowly flatten the small of your back to the table. There you go. Really flatten it. This what, if somebody calls and tells me they were a little bit sore, I always ask them, did you do pelvic tilts? No, I forgot. So it's really important that you always end with maybe 4 or 5 of these. Okay. So then you can stretch this leg out and then go all the way up on your side and move to the center of the table. There you go. Put that under. And so with this hand, just kind of hold the knee and then let your shoulder just kind of drop back. You kind of get your own little routines down, but this is a real good stretch. And then of course, whenever you get up, you want to always drop both feet off the table and then walk yourself up. And there it is. So thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call 1-800-737-9295 if you have any questions. Thanks.